Yeah, it's a tough track. It's got a lot of history and uh, well-deserved reputation for being difficult and challenging. And we got some awesome weather here this weekend. The track seems to be in good shape. Watching the nationwide cars and their speeds, so looks like the paving job they did on this place is going to hold up for quite a while. And track's starting to fade a little bit, but the speed's still there. So obviously the tire must be really good. The Goodyear's got here. So just things are really looking good for this place. Just really enjoy running here.
Questions now for Dale. If you have one, raise your hand, and we'll start over here with Craig, with Ed, and then we'll move around.
Ed Hinton, ESPN.com. Dale, beyond your own looking for a win, when you look at this four-car team overall, and been stuck at 199 wins for Rick since last October, not the number itself, but just this team being winless since last October in Cup, is that beginning to weigh on this team, and is there any tendency to ask what's wrong?
No, there's nothing wrong. I think we're looking at our performance over the same period and seeing an improvement. I think all four teams are faster than they were last year, and running with more, with a better competitive spirit than we had last year. We're running better. Casey's come in, been really fast, super fast at several tracks. Jeff's just had terrible luck. He's been probably as fast as Casey, if not one of the fastest of the four. And Jimmy's always right there. He's just just one decision away from a win. So, and we're getting pretty close ourselves. So I think I think attitudes are good, and everybody feels like we're just right around the corner.
Over here to the far right, Woody.
Woody Kane with MRN. Dale, just want to ask about the your All-Star win with the All-Star race coming up. Just what you remember about that time, and winning kind of late to get in it, and then winning the race itself, your memories of that time and how much that meant to you.
Yeah, we really I was kind of so green that I don't think I really understood what all was going on. To win early in the season like we did was so unexpected and such a shock to me, and to be able to be one of the drivers, to be locked into the Winston at the time was a heck of a thing to consider. And we were in the race just happy to be there. We just thought it was the funnest thing and the neatest thing for us as a young team to be a part of that race. And winning the race never crossed my mind for whatever reason. It's hard, as a race car driver, it's hard to go to a race not thinking about winning it or thinking about your options. But we were so kind of blindsided by being there and enjoying the experience of going through the qualifying and all the things that come along with that. We never really considered our chances of winning. We just were kind of there. And then in the first couple segments of the race, we really didn't have the best car. We were okay running the top five, but that last segment we really turned it on and got some tires and did some things to make the car great and won the race. And it just was, just an incredible weekend. So I know it was a big deal for the whole team. Everybody there was so happy. It was just amazing to see everybody so excited. All those guys that I had been working with in the Nationwide Series for all them years.
Take a couple questions over here, and then we'll go to Andy.
Hey, Dale. Derek Phillips with Fox here in Columbia, to your left. Can you just talk about just how Darlington is just so unpredictable, and do you honestly like running here, and what makes it so different than any other circuit here on the NASCAR series?
I do like running here, especially since they repaved the track and fixed some of the issues. But it's always been a fun track to race on. It's just a frustrating track, too, at the same time. But the challenge is really kind of what's interesting and what's fun about it. You really you don't really race your competitors as much as you really are kind of in a battle with the track itself all night long. And, you just have to work every lap. You can't take, any time off, you're right against the fence all the way around the racetrack, so you're always having to concentrate 100% about what you're doing, where your car is, what you're doing with your car, and the speed of your car to keep it out of the fence. But yet run as hard as you can to be competitive. So it's just a very challenging place. It's really one of the more physical racetracks that we go to.
Let's go Lee, and then we'll come over here to Andy.
Lee Spencer, Fox Sports. Junior, last week it didn't sound like you were comfortable with the style of car that you had. Is that something you and Stevie are going to work at before you go back to Daytona to find a car that more suits your style and what you need to do on the racetrack?
Well, we felt we hadn't really ran. The car I had in Daytona did what I expected out of the car, and I was really happy with that car. But yeah, I mean that car could have been better, and I think that I think we are as a team good enough to get the car better and make it more, make it more competitive, comparable to Matt and the 16 and those guys that you see that are very strong. When we went to Talladega, for whatever reason, I think we weren't as good as we were at Daytona by quite a bit, and I struggled with getting the car to do things, and the car wasn't doing what I was asking it to do as far as speed, just pure speed. Being able to use the air around me, I really wasn't getting the gains and being able to make some of the moves that I was anticipating on making. So I think we know inside the particulars of what we need to do and change, what was different from Daytona to Talladega that hurt us, and what we can do to go to Daytona. I feel confident when we go to Daytona that we'll be better and be able to compete like we want, and hopefully down the road when we go back to Talladega and toward the end of the season we'll be as strong as we'll be one of the stronger teams in the field, because that's definitely what you need when you go to them places. You got to be able to get up there and make the moves to be able to run with the guys and put yourself in position to win, to be able to beat Matt. I mean, he's been the guy at the plate tracks this year. That program's doing a great job. Him and the 16 are always up front. That's the kind of team you got to have yourself a shot at the wins there. So we needed to gain a little bit, and we think we know where we need to do it at.
Go Andy, over here to your right, Dale, and then in the middle to Viv. Go ahead, Andy.
Junior Andy Shane from the state newspaper. Do you think if you could get a win, if you could get in the points lead, that could help bring more fans to the tracks, increase viewership if you were able to get over those humps?
I don't really think that viewership and attendance is directly tied to the success of our team. We do have a great fan base and a loyal fan base that I think watches the races regardless of how we're running. I just think it's challenging financially for the demographic to afford to come out to a race. I think it's just the hotel prices are really high and gas is really high, and just trying to get here and enjoy yourself has become quite expensive, and a lot of people are not willing to make that sacrifice and sit at home and either watch it on TV or mow the lawn. I don't know, but I think that it'll cycle around, and things like this always kind of do have a cycle, and it'll improve over time when the confidence is gained in the consumer to come back out and spend that kind of money.